Hello students, today we discuss about another chapter, that is biodiversity and conservation. In this chapter, only two subtopics are there. What is meant by biodiversity, and as well as how it to protect, how it to conserve such type of the organisms, that is conservation and all. Here, the first subtopic related to biodiversity. In this, bio means life, diversity means forms. That means various life forms present on this planet and all. That indicates as this one biodiversity. Different types of life forms. Life forms in that sense, from single cells to all higher multicellular organisms. In that, both the plants, animals, everything, it must be included and all. But it is very difficult to count the prokaryotic organism. But it is easy to count related to eukaryotic, higher, as well as remaining organisms and all, both plants as well as animals and all. Who is the scientist who explained the first related to biodiversity in 1985? Rosen scientist and all. In 1985, the first Rosen scientist explained about related to biodiversity and all. That means various life forms which are present on this planet and all. Then related to, if it is present in the planet within the same species, there is no baffling or there is no related to astonish, there is no fascinating and all. But whenever the foreign alien, that means another planet, any other species, if it enter in our Earth planet, then it becomes baffling, it becomes astonished, it becomes fascinating. That means new organism, new species. Then only it must be wonderful and all. It must be protect in such type of the organism and all. But the formation of different types of life forms on our planet, it takes place several million years and all. But what happened at present is, within 2 centuries, all whatever valuable maximum number of species, maximum number of life forms, it becomes demolished, it becomes destroyed, it becomes that specific type of the biodiversity loss and all, that it will be takes place. But formation, it takes place maximum period of time. But loss, it takes place within couple of centuries and all, because of human activities. That is the main reason and all. Then how the biodiversity, the word, it become popularized because of, that is Wilson Edward in 1992, that Wilson Edward, with the help of these scientists, that word, it becomes popularized. Who is the scientist who must be used at the first time? You must write Rosen. How it become popularized? With the help of Edward Wilson in the year 1992 and all. In these different types of these life forms and all, for example, ants, how many, it must be estimated, scientifically estimated, how many different types of these ants are present and all. Example, related to ants, this is the first subtopic related to biodiversity. In this one, ants are present 2000 species and all. Ants is present 20,000 are present and all. Related to beetles, these 3 lakh species are present and all. That means that many number, maximum number, when you compare to the ants and all. Related to fishes, 28,000 number, 28 different types of these species are present. Not total number, it represents different types of these species and all. Not total number, different types of these species, different varieties of these species and all. Related to orchids. Like that, example, various types of these species in our globe, in our biodiversity area, in this specific earth atmospheric planet under various organisms in different types of the varieties of the species are present. That means some of the area maximum there is species richness, some of the area normally present species evenness, some of the area less number species loss of that specific number of the organisms and all. It depends upon the climatic condition, depends upon the habitat, depends upon the abiotic factors. All these environmental factors act as a vital role. The species richness, species evenness, species loss and all. If it is favorable, automatically it increases and all. If it is unfavorable condition, it decreases that specific number and all. Then, in this, how many different levels of biodiversity? There are 3 different levels are present. One is the genetic biodiversity. Genetically, different types of the organisms are present. For example, in genetically, bacteriophage, how many number of genes are present in this one? Bacteriophage, it is present. 100 genes are present and all. Bacteriophage and all. In this, related to, in this mycoplasma, that means 450 to 700 genes are present and all. Then Escherichia coli, it is present 4,000 genes are present and all. Then related to yeast, it is present 6,000 number of the genes are present and all. Then what about in Drosophila? Drosophila, 13,000 number of chromosomes are different, number of genes are different. So here different types of genetic material present in specific organisms and all. In related to Drosophila, Caenorhabditis. Caenorhabditis elegans, it is a free living nematode organism and all. It is present 18,000 genes are present and all. Caenorhabditis and all. In this, related to rice, 32,000 to 50,000 genes. Then human beings, 30,000 to 40,000 genes. Like that, various number based on different types of gene. That means what you understood, there is no similar type of genes present from one species to another species. It must be variable. That variable number of genetic material present, that genes are present, different types of species, that indicate, that represent, is called as genetic biodiversity and all. In this genetic, with the help of genetic biodiversity, how many different types of the rice species are, it must be present in our country and all. 50,000 rice, different types of the species, different types of the varieties are present in our country. In India, it is present 50,000 species of different types of the rice species are present. Similarly, mango also, that is 1,000 that mango species, different types of the mango species and all. So like that, based on different types, automatically it may be possible different types of this specific type of the organism, specific type of the species. It must be possible and all. Then what about second one? Second type of biodiversity, that is species biodiversity. That means in one specific area, one type of species richness are present. It is also depends upon the climatic condition, weather, as well as pollution, if it is all are free from that specific environmental condition, automatically the species richness, it must be variable. That means one area, one type of organisms are present when you compare to the another area. Here example, in the species biodiversity, in Western Ghats, there are more number of amphibians are present when you compare to the Eastern Ghats and all. Western Ghats, more number of amphibians it compared to Eastern Ghats and all, because of environmental condition, because of climatic, abiotic, all these, the interaction between among the species, among the community, or depends upon the specific type of the community and all these. That is species biodiversity from one area to another area, it must be variable and all. Then what about ecological biodiversity? Ecologically, how many types it is present? According to R.H. Whittaker in 1965, he classified 3 different types of ecological biodiversity and all. That R.H. Whittaker, 1965, he classified different types of the ecological biodiversity, that is 3 different types of ecological biodiversity, that is alpha, beta and delta. There are 3 different types of ecological biodiversity. Alpha ecological biodiversity, it represents within the community the changing of the species, the increasing of the species within the community, whether it is lost, whether it is increased, whatever it may be. So the interrelation, that means within the community, the species richness or species evenness or species loss, whatever it may be, the biodiversity here normally it considered as this one, it increase the number of the species only, normally it must be considerable. Here within the community, the species richness present within the community. Here in beta ecological biodiversity, here normally it observable from one community to another community. Here between the species, it must be transferred, it must be mutually, it must be increased from one community to another community area and all. Then delta, between geographical areas. Between geographical, for example, related to geographical and in India, different types of geographical areas are present and in that specific areas, wetlands are present. Apart from this one, rainy forests are present. Then along with this one, some estuaries are present, as well as mangroves are present. Like that, different types of the geographical areas are present. When you compare to the one among these in the Turkey, regarding related to in a Turkey region, there different types. When you compare to the Turkey as well as India, in India regarding related to more number of species when you compare to the specific type of this Turkey area and all, because of habitat, because of climatic factors and all, it acts as a very chief role related to. That's why, because of geographical areas, it must be variably, it must be present and all. Now say, how many number of species present throughout the global diversity and all, number of species present in our globe. So number of species. Then, due to presence of different types of biodiversity, what is the benefit? What is the benefit of regarding related to, for example, in that genetically or genetical variation, one more type of one specific plants is there, medicinal plants, Rauwolfia, Omitoria, different types of climatic condition, different types of altitude, different types of ranges in Himalayan ranges is present. It secrets, that is the serpent and all. with the help of this one, medicinally it is beneficial and all. So for biodiversity, it is a maximum benefit regarding related to human activities and all. As well as it must be naturally, it becomes into the healthier and all, ecological balance and all. If it is present, appropriate amount of different types of organisms in a specific environmental conditions and all. Now see, how many number of these species are present and all. So according to IUCN, International Union Conservation for Nature and Natural Resources. What is the full form of IUCN? International Union for Conservation, Nature and Natural Resources. According to IUCN 2004, it must be estimated, it must be calculated. Already, scientifically they proved maximum total plants as well as animals and all. 1.5 million species and all. In global diversity, it is total in our globe and both plants as well as animals. That is most important. Many times exam point of view asked. According to IUCN, what is the total number of species present in our globe, in our Earth planet and all? That is, they have given 1.5, 1.2 or 1+2 as well as 3 as well as 4. Different values they give. Exactly 1.5 million species and all. But it is not truly, but it is not the correct value. According to a present scenario, it must be changes. It is not at all calculated. Still, it yet be calculated. Many number of species are present. That means several hundred to thousand number of species it ready to calculate and all. But according to ecologists and all, 20 to 30,000 millions of species are present. They estimated and all. But scientifically estimated, one more scientist, that is Robert May and all. Scientific estimation, according to Robert May, there will be present 7 million species. According to Robert May, that is also important. You read once or twice in a question and all. According to IUCN, what is the number? According to Robert May, what scientifically he estimated and all. That is 7 million and all. That means at present it is present less than 20% of the species only. Rest of these species still yet to be calculated, yet to be scientifically identified and all. Maximum number of species yet to be identified. Then when it will be completed, we don't know. Because of it is a little bit too lengthy process and all. Calculation. Why? Because all these calculations what they estimated related to temperate region only. Still maximum number of species which are present into the tropical region. Still not completely the total number of plants and animals still not estimated completely. They may not be calculated in the tropical forest areas region and all. So based on this one, in our India, what is the total number of the plant species as well as animal species are present related to in plant number of species are 40,000. In India, 40,000 the plant species are related to 45,000. Then in animals, it will be double, 90,000 animal species. 90,000 animals, it becomes doubling of this one related to Indian scenario and all. Why? Because in India, it covers in our global area 2.4%. So how much percentage of India, how much percentage of on our earth, India it must be occupies. India occupies in our globe, that is 2.4%. India present in our world and all. In that world surface area, if you observe world surface area, how much surface area of earth occupies in our country and all, that is 2.4%. Similarly, how much percentage of biodiversity it occupies and all, that is 8.1%. In biodiversity that related to global biodiversity. That means when you calculate it to the 12 mega biodiversity. But related to species richness, species increases when you compare to the remaining countries. India occupies maximum, even though it occupies very less area, but maximum number of species are occupies. That is only 2.4%, but here 8.1% of the species, both plants as well as animals, both terrestrial as well as aquatic organisms and all. But that is variable and all because of the climatic conditions and all, because of the specific habitat nature and all. So all the factors which is supporting to increase the number of the species and all, to increase the plants as well as animal species area and all. Now, what is the order? How it must be easily identified, easily understanding related to arrangement of global biodiversity organisms and all. Now, we observe about arrangement of global biodiversity species and all with the help of the pie charts. Then global biodiversity. But here you remember carefully in these particular cases and they may not identify the number of the prokaryotic organisms. Only why? Because it is very difficult to calculate, it is very difficult to identify, it is very difficult to count all these aspects and all. That's why here they must be given only animals as well as plants and all. In this one, maximum number of the organisms related to animals. That means 70% of the animals are present. Remaining, that means nearly 22% of plants are present and all. In that percentage again, in that plants, maximum it occupies into the fungi related to animals. What type of, that is most important. In animals, what type of organisms it covers, it occupies maximum percentage and then your answer is the insects and all. In insects, they will be present. That means for every 10 individuals of the animals, it must be present 7 individuals according to that earlier estimation done. But present calculation, for every 10 individuals of the animals, then 8 insects are present and all. Earlier, according to textbook, they given for every 10 animals, 7 animals comes under the insects. According to latest one, for every 10 animals, 8 animals related to the insects only. That means maximum percentage of this one. So, this particular pie diagrams also, the percentage representation, they ask many times and all. Observe carefully and remember and all. Related to animals. Why? Because 70%, it covers 70% animals, but 22% only plants. Rest of the percentage regarding related to other organisms and all. Then related to animals, in that animals, invertebrates. If we observe the invertebrates and all, in that pie chart, here it is present 75% insects and all. That is important. In the pie chart, they give this specific pie chart. It represents A. Then related to in that 15% other organisms. Other organisms means whatever rest of this one related to 7% mollusca. Then 3% it related to crustaceans. So in that pie diagram, In that exam point of view also they give like this one. This is the A, or they represent it to the B. This is the C. This is the D. They give different calculation values and all. What it represents, what it indicates as the A and all. That they give 80%. They give insects as well as mollusca, as well as crustacean, as well as other organisms in that sense, like protozoans, porifera, coelenterata, platyhelminthes, nemathelminthes, that remaining rest of the organisms like Annelida, like all these remaining organisms and all related to. Then what about vertebrate organisms? That related to vertebrates. In these vertebrates, which type of organisms are maximum number of organisms, none other than aquatic organisms. In that aquatic organisms, that means 50%, it will be presented to the fishes and all. Then here 10, here 10. This is the in 10% of amphibian. Here 10% of mammals. Then rest of these were reptiles as well as birds and all. Reptiles and birds. This is 15% each and all. Reptiles as well as birds and all. So like this, it will be present on vertebrate organisms. So whatever these vertebrate organisms like amphibian as well as reptiles, birds and mammals, all it is equivalent to the percentage of the fungi and all. Then related to the plants, in that plant, if you observe here 45% fungi and all. 45% fungi. This is the 45% fungi. Then related to 40% angiosperms and all. 40% angiosperms are present. In this 40% angiosperms, in that here only 3% it will represent into the lichens and related to 7% algae. Here also related to 3% and 2%. This is in the 3% mosses. This is in 2% and fern and others and allied and other species and all. Here also observe very carefully. Here only 3% of the mosses, that means bryophytes and all. It is the pteridophytes and rest of the organism, that means different types of whatever the plants which are present and all. Here it will be covered maximum related to fungi and all. Fungi also here it consider, it include regarding related to plants only. So like that, these all these three pie diagrams are most important in exam point of view. Apart from this one, what is the total number? What is the meaning of biodiversity? What is the use of this biodiversity? How the different types of species organism, how many million years ago it takes place to formation of present world and all. So how this loss of the biodiversity it takes place within couple of centuries and all. So it is very easy to destruction of these particular species and all. But formation of organisms only, it is difficult. Time will be takes place and all. That's why it must care to preserve and conservation of all these biodiversity organisms in various habitat of the global and all. Okay. Remaining we discuss in next class.